ninth lesson of Inheritance and Traits. Again, we've encountered that there's the Elk Mountain wolf pack and there's also the Bison Valley pack. And here we're trying to determine a little bit about why Wolf 44 looks different relative to the others in the Elk Mountain pack. And we've now figured out that the Bison pack there looks much more closely related to Wolf 44. So again, we're working as wildlife biologists, okay, and we're learning more about these wolves in Greystone National Park. And the big question that they have is why is Wolf 44's color similar to one pack but different from the other? Okay. So we're going to take a look at another kind of organism to see if observing them can help us understand why organisms in a species can have similarities and variation. So kind of why isn't it that they're not all the same? Why are there variations within there? Okay. And we're going to look at a very different organism, a small insect called a fruit fly. During the summer, you might find these, particularly when it's warmer and there's literally fruits and other things that are sugary out. They love to find their way into different things. And so you'll see them as we pop into spring and summer. But we're not going to worry about actually looking at them. We're going to look at some pictures of them. So scientists who study organisms often investigate fruit flies to learn about traits because fruit flies have traits that are easy to observe. And on here, if I'm looking just at this one here, I can look at the eye color, I can look at the wings, or the shape of the wings, or the shape of the body, their location. I can look at the body color, things like that, in order to better observe them, okay? And we're going to examine data showing the traits of fruit flies from different fruit fly families. Say that one 7 times fast. You'll notice there's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and they all look a little bit different here. You could see obviously in the top couple here, there's yellow, and we're going to get a closer look in a second, but then there's a lot more black on the bottom, and I wonder why that is. So I'm already starting to kind of ask myself some questions about, why are they totally different? Okay. Now, all organisms must reproduce to make sure that their species can survive. When organisms reproduce, they have offspring, and offspring are living things that come from parents. Okay, so they come from a parent. So we're not going to necessarily worry about the partner piece. If you want to talk to a stuffed animal, you want to talk to a sibling, that's totally fine. But you're going to be looking at the fruit fly data on the slides, and we'll do this on our video, and you're going to discuss each question. Okay. So on the first one, it says, based on your observations of the fruit flies in family 1, did you notice any patterns? So here we really want to kind of take a look here at our parents here, which are our top 2, and then look down here at the offspring, which are 1 through 5. So take a close look, take a look at the location of the wings or the size of the wings. Take a look at the size of the body, maybe the color, any other defining traits there. What are some of the patterns you notice that relate the offspring to the parents? What do you notice about them? Let's do the same thing with fruit fly family 2. As we look at fruit fly family 2, they look similar to the first one, that many of them are very yellow. There's a lot more black in this one here, particularly if you look at the rears of them, and there's some differences as far as their wings on here. And I'm kind of looking again at the parents and then looking down at the offspring. And what do I notice about the offspring and how they relate back to our parents? So take a second now to go and mark that down. Finally, let's do that for fruit fly family 3. As I look at fruit fly family 3, I'm looking again at the parents and the offspring, and here I can certainly notice that there's more black in this picture than there were in the other 2, including full bodies. But I want to kind of really think again about the patterns that relate these offspring and how they relate back to parents 1 and 2 in this family. So what is the relationship between these offspring and these parents up here? What do I see? Take a look at things like the wings. I want to look at the eyes, kind of how they relate. I want to look at the body color, okay, and things like that, and kind of just to see how they relate. And finally, let's do the same for fruit fly family 4, okay? Offspring down here on the bottom and offspring or the parents up here on the top. And again, as I look at both of these actually kind of in some ways look much more similar to fruit fly family 1, which had a lot more of a uniform color. But again, not just looking at color, I'm looking at color, I'm looking at wings, I'm looking at eyes, trying to get a better feel for it. And here, again, if I look at parents one and two, parents one and two are distinctly similar as far as their traits. And I'm looking here at offsprings one through five and trying to take a look and say, what is, I mean, do they look similar here? Okay. Again, if I go back to three, okay, or two and one, right, I can look for those similarities within here. Okay. So when you recall your observations, right, you may have talked about the idea about the traits such as body color, wing shape, eye color, or other traits, and you might have talked about how they relate to one parent versus another. Okay. Do you think fruit fly offspring have similar traits to their parents? If you look at them, do they have this? Do they have similar traits to their parents? Are they maybe more like one parent than another? Are they not at all like either parent? Okay. Think about that idea there. If we look a little bit closer at offspring one from fruit fly family three, this one here, okay, I can take a look back at its parents. I want to relate again this one directly here to these two parents. What are the similarities and variations do you observe between offspring one and its parents? As I look at this here, I see that the body color of one is really similar to parent two. I look at the wings here. These wings and the location of the wings are similar to parent one. As I get really close, it looks like the eyes are really similar to parent two. Okay. And overall, it doesn't necessarily have that back part that parent one has. So it has some similarities from both, maybe has more similarities with parent two, but has a combination of the two. Now, if I compare offspring one from family three to parents from family four, if I look at this one here compared to family four, I want to look at the similarities and variations that I see here. So again, these are its original parents here. They're not the original, the actual parents. But then I have these parents down here. And I can see, yes, it's got the same body color, but that's a similarity here. Yes, it's got eyes and it has wings, but a major difference is that the location of the wings, or I should say the shape of the wings is different. Okay. I can also look at the idea that when I look at those wings, they are a little bit larger. Okay, so the size is different. I look at the eye color, and that's different. So there are some quite a few differences here relative to parent one and two. I wouldn't say offspring one from family three is at all similar. Is very similar to the fruit fly family four parents. Okay. And what pattern did you observe in the traits of fruit fly offspring and their parents? So this is big picture. What did you, when you relate the idea of offspring and their parents, what do you realize or see when you think about the parents, when you look at both of the parents? Because often there are two within there. And how does that compare with the traits of other fruit flies that are not their parents, which is exactly what we were just doing. We compared offspring one in family three to family four. We notice that fruit flies are more similar to their parents than to fruit flies that are not their parents. They have some similarities across the species, right? That they have similar shape, mostly have wings, they have eyes, they have a lot of the same parts, but they're not entirely the same. And you could actually relate that to us. We as humans we have arms, we have legs, a lot of the similarities there. We often have hair on the top of our head. We got a nose and eyes with eye color, but the differences when you think about them relating to other parents, take a look at your parents and you would see probably some combination between yourself and your parents. Some students are wondering what this tells us about Wolf 44 and the wolf packs. So we have a new investigation question which we're going to start in with tomorrow. Why do only some organisms of the same species have similar traits? So why do only some of them have similar traits, but some of them don't? And we're going to get into that starting tomorrow.